Greetings, dear friends, wherever you are. My name is Maxwell Chiokubanda, one of the facilitators in this course. And this morning, I want to share with you something about the importance of personal Bible studies as we do God's work. One of the challenging things that I've come across as I have been engaged in a pastoral ministry for some years is that there is a tendency among us serving in the vineyard of the Lord that most of the times we think most about the spiritual lives of the people we are serving, that we hardly take time to reflect on our own life. And most of the times when we are reading the Bible, we are reading because we are preparing. Maybe some are preparing for a sermon to share with their people. And so most of the time what happens, it's like when we are reading the Bible, we read with the people that we are serving in our mind, that we hardly think about our personal life. Of course, it took me some time to notice this danger, that I was also doing the same thing, that I would spend more time with the Bible, but most of the times I would be reading as I prepare for what to give to the people that I'm leading. So at some point I thought, like, what should I do to improve my personal life in as far as the devotional life is concerned? So I came up with a way of dealing with this problem. So I gave myself books of the Bible to read in a specific period. So what I would do for a certain period, I'll follow one specific book, and solely for my personal spiritual life. So whenever I read that book, I will be sometimes I would follow the divisions according to the version that I'm following, or sometimes I would just read a chapter, but sometimes I would read a few verses, of which I found that the most effective way is that you read verses that can be manageable for you. So what I would do whenever I'm reading the text of the day, I will have some notes written down as I read, my quick impression that I'm drawing from the text itself. I will note them down, and then after I finish reading it, I'll read it maybe 2, 3 times. After I finish reading it, I'll ask myself questions like, what are the main things that are being said in this passage? So I'll note them down also, like theological issues that I'm noting from the text. So after discovering those theological points that I find in the text, then I come to the part of application. Actually, this is what we do when we are preparing for a ceremony. But now, the application side, I'll think about my personal life. In this case, I'll ask myself various practical questions as to how this passage is speaking to my life. And so I'll try to take some time, uh, think about my personal life, and see what practical area of my life this specific thing that I've noted from the text is addressing. So in that way, I'll write down the specific areas. Sometimes I would think of personal anger, that this passage is telling me something that I should work on how I manage my emotions. And then after I've done that, I've noted those points down. The next thing that I'll do will be coming up with the practical actions. So in other words, I would say, like, okay, these are the things that I've discovered about my life, and this is how I see that this text is speaking to me as an individual. Then the next question would be, how then do I apply the points that I've identified as practical points for my life? So in that case, I'll draw out some action points to say, okay, in this day, as I go in this day, I have these actions for the day, or I would say for a week, or I would say for a month, or I would say for lifetime. So I will be noting them down in my personal diary. And so I will think about those things as I walk in the day. And in doing so, it gives me time to continue with the reflection of the text as I walk in the day. And I found that to be quite an effective way of reading the Bible for my personal spiritual life. So, as you are doing your course, and I understand that most of you, if not all of you, you are engaged in ministerial activities, I just want to say that it's important that you have to spend time with the text just for your personal spiritual life. It's important. Most of the times, when we are reading the Bible, for those of us who are either studying theology or we are involved in practical ministry, most of the time we are either reading the Bible as a study book. So we want to write an assignment, or we are reading the Bible because we are having some people in mind. So we hardly think about our personal life. But I want to say that for you to grow even in your spiritual life, you need to spare some time, read the Bible, and try to see how it is addressing your life and how you can apply that in your life, and also come up with action points. And in so doing, you'll find that the Bible will be seen as also an instrument that can be used for change even in your life, and not just as an instrument of your work that you are doing in serving God's people. May God bless you as you continue with this course, and also as you have taken your time to watch this video. I pray for God's blessings over you. Thank you so much.